Hey folks, welcome to the Whiskey Hunter. Today we're teaming up with Two Brewers Yukon single malt whiskey. I just heard about them a couple weeks ago, just drank about them this week, and I gotta share some stuff with you folks. Just a little bit of a backstory and explain this hat I'm wearing, Yukon Brewing. Two gentlemen from Ontario went to the Yukon on an adventure trip, and they never came back. In 1997, they started a brewery called Yukon Brewing. Fast forward 10 years, they decided they want to make whiskey. So in 2009, they bought a still. They started making whiskey. 2016, that whiskey was ready. It came out, and they're going strong. And I'm going to brew it today because I'm going to be sampling a few of their releases. So let's get right into it, folks. The Whiskey Hunter teaming up with Two Brewers Yukon single malt whiskey. Woo! And I'm a whiskey, the Whiskey Hunter. Trying to be a little bit quiet today because I have two newborn twins sleeping right up there. But I can get right to work. So before we start, I just have to explain something a little bit difficult. Difficult to me, the way Two Brewers release their whiskeys. They have them broken down into 4 different banners. Okay, so they have 4 kind of umbrellas how they release their whiskeys. One being like a classic single malt style whiskey. 2, a peated whiskey, which is just a peated whiskey. 3, they have a special finish whiskeys, which is aged whiskey, which they finish in a special barrel, like they finish them in sherry barrels, rum barrels, port barrels. And then they have the 4th category is their innovative whiskeys, which they do crazy cool things, a little bit of experimenting going on. And I've got one of those bottles here today. I've got the innovative, and I've got the peated whiskey. So let's get to work. We're gonna start with the peated whiskey. Two Brewers Yukon single malt whiskey, peated, release number 19. So what that means is, like I said, it falls under one of those 4 banners. It falls under their peated section, but it's release number 19. So there's been releases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 19. They only started releasing whiskeys in 2016. They released about 4 to 5 releases per year. So now we're on number 19. So this is probably from last year. Release number 20 is out there probably now, or it's coming out shortly. I'd love to try it if you know anyone who has any connections. So this is the peated version, release number 19. We're gonna not waste any time, we're gonna get right to it. So I'm gonna pour some of this out. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have been sipping on these this week. And to tell you the truth, and I'm not just saying it, that was a big pour. I love these whiskeys. My problem is I love all whiskeys that I sample, but these are special and they're unique. And this peated one, I love peated whiskeys. I love like a Scottish traditional Islay peated whiskey, but this is a little bit different. Let's just get right into it, folks. A little bit of a sniff. So you do get the smokiness, not as much as you would get from like a Lagavulin and a Lafroig, but you definitely know there's peat in there, but there's a lot, like a stone fruit smell, like peaches, some citrus, maybe even cherries on the nose. I'm going right in. Look at this beauty. Beautiful color. Man, there's just the perfect amount of smoke on it, mixed with a lot of fruit. So if people who maybe aren't into, a lot of people are not into peated whiskeys and they find them a little bit offensive, this might be a nice one to get you into the peated because it's got the peat in there, it's got the smoke in there, but it's very fruity, it's very subtle, beautiful whiskey. And it's got that long, lingering smokiness, but more importantly, it's got that fruitiness. So it's not like just a nice mixture of fruit and smoke. So this is the Two Brewers peated release 19. This is a must-have. I don't even know if this is available anymore because what happens is they do limited editions of these releases. So this is bottle number 577 of 1,000 bottles. So once this is gone, they're gone. And the thing about Two Brewers, they're winning awards all over the place. In 2020, this year, they won Best Canadian Single Malt, Best Canadian Sippin' Whiskey, and for those releases that win those awards, bam, sold out just like that. So if you go in and you see a new whiskey that's coming out, a new release, buy one for yourself to drink and then buy 2 or 3 to put in out back in the shed and keep them keep them good. So as always, I do get a little bit inspired from the whiskeys, especially, I'm gonna have one more sip for good luck. This peated one, the whiskeys are so good that am I the only one that thinks sometimes you just want to jump into the bottle and swim around in there and soak it up? So this is a song kind of inspired by that peated whiskey and inspired by that, that thought. It's called Whiskey River. I might look down on my cheat notes because I just wrote this, so cut me some slack. If you hear babies crying upstairs, that's because there are babies crying upstairs. Whiskey River, I wanna jump right in head first and finally quench my thirst for good whiskey. Whiskey River, I wanna swim amongst the peat. I wanna drink you down so neat, I'm feeling frisky. Whiskey River, yeah, yeah, Whiskey River. Oh, oh, Whiskey River. Whiskey River, I want that dusty haze of smoke and those glacier streams that broke to wash over me. Whiskey River, I wanna jump right in head first and finally quench my thirst for great whiskey. Whiskey River, yeah, yeah, Whiskey River. Oh, oh, Whiskey River. That was dedicated to this Two Brewers Yukon single malt peated whiskey, release number 19. Bam. That was for them. Moving on to my next and final bottle. Two Brewers Yukon single malt innovative. So this falls under that fourth banner, that fourth umbrella, their innovative series. This is release 20. This just came out. Let me just read you what it says on the bottle here because it's beautiful. Finished in maple syrup barrels, this whiskey is sugar and spice and many things nice. I'm here to tell you that that's not a lie. I've tried it. My wife's tried it. My mom's tried it. It's true. Everyone agrees. This is a beautiful sippin' whiskey. If I would have known how good this was, I would have asked for 2 bottles because this thing's gonna win awards. It's my favorite out of the 2. I've only had the 2. But this is a beaut. I mean, I could sip on this all day. Finished, in maple syrup barrels. That just sounds like, I'm gonna pour myself a nice one for this last one. And let's get right to this. You could already smell it from here. Guess what you smell? Maple syrup. But it's not just maple syrup, it's like pancakes and French toast. but it's not, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a dessert whiskey. It's just one of those whiskeys that makes you think, this is too good to be true. I feel guilty drinking it. It's too good. Could just sniff on it all day. I'm going for a sip. And boy, it's velvety smooth. You taste maple syrup and the alcohol and the maple syrup combined is just like the perfect, it's like French toast. It's like if you could liquidize French toast, but in a good way. I'm telling you, I love this bottle. I'm gonna cherish this one. Beautiful, beautiful whiskey. And the finish is just, this is what it feels like to get a nice, warm Yukon hug from someone that works at Two Brewers. This in a bottle, this is what that feels like. Beautiful, beautiful. Just kind of warms everything in here, and it's got that texture that maple syrup has. It's so velvety smooth. So nice, in fact, that I wrote another song about this one. And I don't just do this intentionally, I do it out of pure inspiration, because you know what? It actually makes my life a bit more difficult. Gotta write songs, make up lyrics, but a lot of times they just come to me when the whiskeys are that good. So this is a song for this innovative Release 20, and I call this one Whiskey Gold, because sometimes the whiskey's so good, it's just whiskey gold. Here we go. Whiskey gold, looking for a little bit of rock and roll. Found it in a Yukon single malt, put it in a bottle and I'm never gonna let it go. Whiskey gold, whiskey gold, whiskey gold, whiskey gold, whiskey gold. Have you ever really heard the story told? Yukon River and two brave souls, they bought a still and now the whiskey flows like whiskey gold, whiskey gold. It's whiskey gold, yeah. Whiskey gold, looking for a little bit of rock and roll. Found it in a Yukon single malt, we put it in a bottle and I'm never gonna let it go. Whiskey gold. Dedicated to this beautiful Release 20, innovative Release 20. Boom, folks, look out for these Two Brewers Yukon single malt whiskey. Look out for them. If you see them, grab them. Two Brewers. If you find any of the earlier releases, like releases 1 through 15, you see them anywhere out west in Canada, anywhere in the States. Quebec has some. You see any, buy them, send them to my house. I'll take care of them for you. Put them into storage for you. All right? Sound like a good idea? That's it, folks, for the Whiskey Hunter. Teamed up with Two Brewers and great people out there in the Yukon making great whiskey. They also make great beer. There's the Yukon Brewing. They make great beer. It's all under the same umbrella, Yukon Brewing and Two Brewers Whiskey. Bob Baxter, president, met him last night or the night before on Instagram. Got to get out there and meet him in person and check out the distillery. I will one day. It's a long road trip, but I'll get there some way. The Whiskey Hunter, featuring Two Brewers Whiskey. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. Please, if you have questions, concerns, leave them in the comments. I will get back to you. If I can't find the best answers possible, I will go directly to the source. I'll go to the president, I'll go to Bob Baxter, president of Two Brewers, and get the answers for you. You can order this stuff online. There's ways to get it. You can't get it at the LCBO right now. It's just that good. You can't do that. You gotta work for it. So until next time, folks, keep drinking whiskey, keep hunting for great whiskey. It's not about just drinking whiskey and getting drunk. It's about finding those beautiful whiskeys out there that do exist. I'm gonna help you find them, but you gotta do the work. You gotta do some work on your own. All right, see you next time, folks. Because I'm the whiskey, 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 the Whiskey Hunter. Did anyone check out my t-shirt? Check out the shirt. Two Brewers, Yukon single malt whiskey. Boom. All right, I'm out. Cause I'm the whiskey hunter. Cause I'm the whiskey